My second favorite park in Nashville is Edwin Warner Park. We see owls all the time in this park and the other one.
Pretty cool.
So Edwin Warner Park is part of the Warner Park system in Nashville, Tennessee. There's Percy Warner Park, which is the bigger version, and then across the road there's Edwin Warner Park, and it's about 600 acres. So the Warner Parks in total is almost 3,000 acres, and it is the second largest municipally owned park in Tennessee. There's one that's a little bigger in Memphis. And Edwin Warner has basically two sides. We're driving through it to the back side of it from where we live right now. You know, I say it's my second favorite park in Nashville. It's honestly probably right there with Percy Warner. Percy Warner's just, I've been in it a lot more. But now that we live on the other side of the Warner Park system in Bellevue, we spend a ton of time in Edwin Warner Park. There's trails, dirt trails that go up into the woods. There's asphalt trails, and we walk on those, and I ride bikes on those. And there's just all kind of little things to do. It connects to a greenway, so it's just very convenient to where we live, and we go there all the time. So we used to live in Forest Hills, which was on the Percy Priest side of the park. And then I kept riding my bike in the park, and I wound up I rode all through Percy Warner, and I rode all through Edwin. And I just kept going one day, and I found the Harpeth River Greenway. And I made a video about it because I've ridden a ton of miles on that. Basically, if I hit so we moved out of Forest Hills, and we moved to the other side, to the other end of that greenway, and have a little condo there now. And if I do that ride, if I ride the entire greenway and then I go up into Edwin Warner Park and I hit every road in there, you can get a 22-mile bike ride in, which is awesome. When I'm not riding bikes, Emily and we hit Edwin Warner Park constantly, and we call so there's an asphalt road that runs through it that is closed to traffic, and you can do a little loop, and there's other little roads, but we do this one constantly. It's a little over 3 miles. We call it Edwin Asphalting, and we've done it a lot. And we've done it's called the Blue Trail. The actual name of it is the Harpeth Woods Trail. And it's about 2.5 miles, and it's got some good elevation up and down. And it kind of meanders through the woods. It goes basically all around the entire Edwin Warner Park system. And there are other trails that you can kind of go onto and make all kind of paths. There's shorter little, connector trails. And then, like I said, it goes all the way back to the Greenway. You can take little loops, and there's a quarry. I mean, there's just all kind of places to walk in Edwin Warner Park. So, but we do this Blue Trail. We do it a lot. Emily doesn't like to get muddy, so if it's muddy, we don't get on it.
The wetlands of the Birch Reserve.
Across the road from Edwin Warner, they've added a new tract of land called the Birch Reserve, And we first hiked this in 2018. I think they added it in 2014. They opened it in 2018, and we immediately hiked it. And let's go over that now. All right, this is a fairly new portion of Edwin Warner Park. It is across the street from the other park. You'll see the difference in the trails. It's a little more growed up. Grass is a little higher, and that's fine. It's just a farm that they converted to a trail system. We personally like the other version better because it's in the woods, it's more covered, and the trails are more worn, more hilly. Although this one's pretty hilly at times. Cool little tunnel. You walk underneath the train tracks. I always want a train to be coming by when we come by.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's ever happened.
Hasn't happened yet.
You could be 6 feet away.
So after the tunnel, you come up here and you have to decide which way you're gonna go. We always go right. The Meadowview Spur. We made the mistake in the middle of summer one time. Grass was up to above our waist. We made the mistake of going up there because there's really no trail, it's just grass.
But there's a trail.
And we came out of that little trip with chiggers. Pretty little meadows. There's a couple of spaces on this trail that are pretty hilly. This is one of them. And then the beauty of the Edwin Warner is once you go up the giant hill, you immediately go down giant hills. It's very futile. Are we going back uphill again?
Yes.
It's never ending. Once you get along the ups and downs, you get up on top of this ridge and it levels out. You're in the woods in the shade. So the Birch Reserve Trails, it's about a 3-mile loop, and it's got kind of the same elevation gains up and down that you have over at Edwin Warner Park. It's a little different. It's a lollipop trail. You kind of hike in, you hike underneath the train tracks, underneath this cool little tunnel, and then you kind of make this lollipop loop, and there's another little loop you can add on in the middle. It's a little different. You're out in the open over on the south side of it, I guess. You're open in meadows, which is different than Edwin Warner Park. There's not a lot of that over in Edwin Warner Park. And then you go back into the woods and you're hiking in the woods and you're kind of going up and down and along the ridges and everything. It's a fun little hike. It's Emily's favorite part. All right, here you have a decision at the big split tree.
You go that way, right?
We always go this way. It's called the Valley View Spur.
Is that just the normal trail that way?
That's the normal trail, and that's where we came from. We go on the Valley View Spur. All it does is make a little loop. We do it every time because there's a valley view. We used to make our kids do force marches as well.
Another train, Joe?
We're missing the train.
Again.
Get over there quick with the drone.
That's two really close together.
So we're on these little switchbacks on the way off the hill. So it's a little easier. If you want to go straight up, go on the way we went. If you want to kind of probably have a little easier, well, I don't know, switchbacks are pretty bad.
That's why they're there.
Probably the way we go is easier because you get up and down. This, you're just going straight up with no break. And then you still have to do the up and down on the back. So if you want a more challenging hike, maybe hang a left at the beginning. I don't know, may not matter.
So green.
It is green. We're here during spring of 2020. It's very crowded because of COVID. There's nothing else for anybody to do in Nashville except hike, I guess. So this trail's probably as busy as we've ever seen it today. And that's pretty much it. You come back out of the woods, so much of it is in shade, so it's pretty cool. There's more of this out in the open area than there is on other Warner Park trails, so take that into consideration. You might get a little sun. And right across the street is the nature center, so that kind of tells you where you're at. We're right at the entrance.